Hello, my name is Pradeep Murthy, and I will be providing a project status update for Chronic Care Continuum by Team Pathfinders. Other team members are Varun Khan and Ivdan. The goal of the project is to develop a solution which can be used across rural America where local expertise will be supplemented by distant experts and local unconventional caregivers. This application is named as Care Journey Module. This is a big application, so that's why the objective of phase one of this project was to provide capabilities to caregivers and supporters of the patient to enter patient's information and records. Phase one of this application should provide basic foundation of the application, which can be enhanced in future. So we have developed phase one based on the requirements we received from Dr. Robert Kilio. Team has used Django Web Framework and PostgreSQL database to build the application, and also used Docker containers and Jenkins used for the deployment. Future project plan is to hand over application code and artifacts to Dr. Robert Kilio so that he can pilot phase one and then come up with the refined requirements for the final solution. He can also review and refine the workflow for different user roles we have created as part of this project. Gantt chart, we have completed all the project activities planned for this project. Deployment, now Varun will be talking about the deployment.
So I'm going to briefly talk about the application architecture. Our application consists of three main components, an Nginx web server, a Django web application, and a Postgres database. Each of these lives in its own Docker container. At the front end, we have the Nginx web server that serves user requests. It receives them, forwards them on to Django, gets a response, and sends them back. It also does double duty by directly serving static content like JavaScript, CSS files, and so on. And additionally, media files. These are files that the user uploaded, PDF files, images, and so on. The Django web application, that's the main application container. And then at the very back end, we have the Postgres database, which houses the tables needed by Django and also application-specific data. So in our code base, we actually have a script called runprod.sh, which you can launch simply like this. And it'll launch the three Docker containers locally. It assumes that you're logged in to your local Docker daemon. And I've already done that. It'll go through a bunch of steps to create the images and finally spin up the containers. So that takes some time, which is why I already did it over here. You can see that it's running. And once that's up, you could access it in your browser by going to localhost 8123 and then simply logging in using the master credentials. Yeah, and then use the application like normal. And finally, the one other way that we have to use the application is by running Django directly without Docker, and that's useful for when you want to be able to attach the debugger and actually see what's going on. And for that, we have this particular script here called run Django locally. So you can launch that like so. The good thing with this is if you make any changes to any of the files, it'll automatically relaunch the application. And when you launch the application using this script, you can access it also using your browser at this address, 8000, that port. And same deal as before, log in using the master credentials. We create some dummy data in this particular case to help us test. And that's it in a nutshell. For production, we use HDAP, and that uses Rancher and Kubernetes. We've had some assistance with TAs to set that up. It's a bit of a black box for us, so we can't provide too much information on there. But it's the same idea. You set up the Docker containers using the specifics given over here. This specifies the order in which the containers are to be spun up, the environment variables to set, the volumes to mount, and so on and so forth. And that's it.
Thank you, Varun. Now I will talk about the application workflow and demo. This application has 4 user roles: super admin, case manager, team member, and patient. Login screen for all the 4 roles is common, and based on the role, the person will see the functionality. Super admin can view list of case managers, create case manager, update case manager, and delete case manager. Let's go to the application now. I will log in as super admin. And here I can see the list of all the case managers. If I need to update, I will click on update link. Delete, I will click on delete link, and for creating a new case manager, I will click on create case manager. These are some of the screenshots for super admin workflow. Now coming to workflow for case manager. After logging in, case manager can view list of teams, patients, patient overall status. He can create patient, team members, create new team, view patient profile, view edit team details, view medical summary, and add generic patient status. From view edit team details, he can update patient record, create team members, add available team members to the team, view patient profile, delete team, and create new team for the patient selected. You can also enter medical information such as allergy, immunization from view medical summary screen. Let's log in as a case manager now. So as you can see, Alice, I have logged in as Alice, case manager, and Alice can see the team, Brian's care team here. Patient Brian Tunura is assigned to the team, and then overall status is needs intervention. So if I want to see what exactly is going on, I will click on the patient and then see there is one, Sam, social support has entered need intervention, that Brian's wife Tracy is not supportive. I can also go to the team detail page from here and update patient details. Okay, I can create a new team for this patient. I can delete the team. I can add a new team member from here after selecting a new team member. I can create a new team member if the person is not existing. I can update the information of the existing team members from here. I can also create a new patient from here. Okay, I can create a new team member, and then I can assign the permission, can view and can edit medical information, and assign the team role, and then also assign this team member to a team. I can create a new team from here, enter the team's name, assign the patient members. Here are some of the screenshots for case managers. Now, workflow for team member, they can log in, and they can, after logging in, they can view the list of patients and teams to which they are assigned. They can view the patient profile. They can add generic patient status. They can also view medical information, and they can enter medical records only if they have permission to view and edit medical records. Let's log in as a nurse who has permission to edit medical records. So Julie is a nurse. She has access to medical info, so she can click on medical info, and then she can see medical information summary here. She can also add some of the medical records here, like allergy, medication diagnosis, immunization, and surgery. Now, if I log in as a team member who doesn't have access to the medical information, then that person will not see any link to the medical information. But this person will see generic status link where she can enter generic patient status page. So for example, Tracy has selected housing and then apartment, and then she is saying that, okay, this is stable, Brian lives in an apartment, and they can add more generic status. The patient can also log in. And then he or she can see only the patient profile. The overall health status color here, green, yellow, and red, is based on the status entered by the team members. Here are some of the screenshots for team member and patient. Next step, we'll hand over application code and artifacts to Dr. Robert Gillio and submit final project deliverable D5. Thank you.